Most people think retiring early means making more money, when in fact, what it means is having more money. And sometimes having more money is simply because you've got a better tax strategy and you're putting more money into your pocket. Today, I'm going to show you one simple tax strategy that can shave years off your working life, legally, morally, ethically, and predictably. Most people think they're saving, but taxes are silently dragging them down. They are the silent thief in their pocketbook. The wealthy retire faster, not simply because they earn more, but because they keep more and pay less taxes. The most misunderstood tax strategy is that it all depends on how you make your money and your business and your business deductions. I think that businesses certainly has tremendous tax benefits, but what you do with your money is going to have a much bigger impact on your taxes. See, the government, they want us to do certain things. And if we do those things, the government says, well, hey, we'll share in the investment that you make. Now, the other day, perfect example. So I'd been through with a client all of the, how do you make your money, tax saving strategies. And we'd added up with saving them about $51,000 a year. Not too bad. We want to save them more. So we went through one simple strategy. We went through real estate with them, and they were planning to invest in real estate. So they weren't doing real estate for tax purposes. They were planning to invest in real estate. There's a particular type of real estate they wanted to invest in. We said, great, because investors who focus are always going to make the most money, and they're going to take the fewest losses as well. Then when you add in the tax benefits, it supercharges your investment. Let me give you the example that I went through with this client of mine the other day. So they want to invest in a vacation rental property, right? Short-term rental. They were going to put 1.5 million into it. Now, some of that was theirs. Most of it was the bank's, right? So they put in 300,000 and the bank put in 1.2 million. That's pretty typical. That's kind of the ratio that is going to happen. 20% you put down and 80% the bank puts in. Well, here's what's great. With the tax law that is coming, this is the one big beautiful bill, we're going to get, what does bonus depreciation mean in this case? Bonus depreciation means that they won't put in $300,000. Well, what do you mean they won't put in $300,000? Well, here's what's going to happen. Yes, they put in their $300,000, but the government gives them a deduction of roughly almost a third of that $1.5 million. Let's say it's $500,000 deduction. If they're in a 40% tax bracket, that's a $200,000 tax savings to them. Well, wait a minute. They put in 300, but they get 200 back. So they really only put in $100,000. So if their return on investment was typically 10% on that property, now it's going to be 30% because they only put in a third of the money. So we tripled the return. So you've gone from a 10% return to a 30% return. Now let's think about that in terms of when you retire. So a 10% return means if you get that every year, you're going to double your money every 7 years. That means if you have $10,000, right, then in 21 years, right, you'll now have $20,000, $40,000, $80,000. Okay, get that? All right, now, instead, we're going to have 30%, which means we're going to double about every 3 years. All right, that means that after 21 years, all right, we haven't doubled 3 times, we've doubled 7 times. So the numbers are spectacularly high. So if you think that, hey, I've got 10,000, I'm going to take to 80,000 in 21 years. Well, what if we could do that in 9 years? That's the difference. That's how you retire early. That's how the rich have so much money, because what's happening is it's the magic of compound interest. My mother taught me this when I was really young. She says, Tom, you've got to understand the magic of compound interest, because what happens is you get paid on the interest you earned, and then on that interest. This is what financial planners are always talking about, why they say, well, let's reinvest your dividends into the stock market. Okay, but that's really slow because they're still paying tax. What if you didn't pay tax? And not only that you didn't pay tax on the earnings, that's a tax efficient investment, but you didn't pay tax on the money that you earned in order to make the investment in the first place. See, that's the key. It's not paying tax on the money you earned to make the investment. Yeah, it's great not having to pay tax on the investment itself. It's even better. And in our case, we went from 10% to 30% literally overnight, simply because of the tax savings. Now, I'm talking to you about this in a video. So you should be thinking, well, wait a minute, what's the catch? What else do I have to do? There are many things. There are many aspects of this. There are many details. We need to dot our I's and we need to cross our T's. There are things you have to do. Here's the job of a great tax advisor. My job is to give you a choice. The choice is, are you willing to do what it takes to get that $200,000 tax benefit, or are you not willing to do what it takes to get that $200,000 tax benefit? But if you don't know that that $200,000 tax benefit is available and you don't know what you need to do, you have no choice. So now what do you do? Well, okay, now you do what Wall Street tells you to do. Put your money into 401k and let it ride. And you get 7% a year if you're lucky, and it goes up and down. And then when you take the money out, you're taxed again, right? You're taxed on that money when it comes out. As opposed to, here's one simple strategy with real estate, where in this one property, we're talking about one property here, able to eliminate $200,000 of taxes on one single property. Now let's say, okay, so what happens next year? Well, we need to invest in another property, don't we? So what happens when you're doing this strategy? Two things are going on, remember. One is you're reducing your taxes. And remember that if you had $300,000 to begin with, yes, one option is just to invest in one property, and wow, I've got that $200,000 left over. But that means I can invest in effectively a couple more properties, right? Because I have that extra money. So I can take the government money that I would otherwise have spent in taxes, and I can put it towards investing. The next year, I'm going to invest again, not pay taxes on the money that was earned in order to invest that money. So what happens? Now we're compounding, and we get to what I call velocity. So you really start to speed it up. It's kind of like the difference between riding a bicycle and driving a Ferrari. It's really that kind of difference, or flying a jet, quite frankly, because when you take taxes out of the mix, you have no weight dragging you down. You have no gravity. Taxes are the gravity of your investing. Get rid of the gravity and imagine how fast you can soar and how fast you can reach your dream. One of my favorite activities is the Wealthability Accelerator class. We have serious entrepreneurs in this course. It's 12 months, and we're going through heavy, specific tax strategies that allow you to accelerate your wealth. So join us in Wealthability Accelerator. Be part of this spectacular group that wants their dream faster and without paying high taxes. Now, if you'd like to watch a video on how to exactly pay zero taxes by investing in real estate, you need to watch this video next.